Sky Sports proudly present the Big League in association with Stones Bitter. Wigan and Leeds, the biggest and richest clubs in the game. This fixture has shaped recent history. In 1990 at a packed Central Park, this try from winger Mark Preston clinched victory for Wigan, and with it their second Stones Bitter championship in 3 years. Then, last April, Wigan had to travel to Headingley to retain the title. It was their 8th match in 19 gruelling days on the run-in, and Dennis Betts dived over to clinch a memorable try. The crown again was theirs. Wigan's unbeaten climax to the season was later described as one of the greatest sporting achievements of the century. Last season, Ellery Hanley was Wigan's inspiration. A week into the new season, and Leeds had tempted him across the Pennines in a world record deal. He's sadly missing today, but still casts and maintain Wigan's 11-year Central Park hoodoo over the men from Headingley. A glance at the head-to-head between these two great clubs emphasises Wigan's domination. The Cherry and Whites have won 22 of the 34 matches between these two since 1973, and even more staggering, 15 of the 17 here at Central Park. The current form couldn't be closer though. Wigan's 206 points represents the best attack in the British game. Their defence isn't bad either, not as good as Leeds, who after 8 matches boast the keenest defence in the country. So, nothing to choose between these two, as live and exclusive, Sky Sports offers you the Big League from the very top draw. It's champions Wigan against the side who'd love to take their pennant away from them this season, Leeds. Nowhere is the atmosphere better than Central Park on a big match day, and we can expect the most significant 80 minutes of the season so far. The Wigan dressing room, the players getting ready for the battle ahead. This is the side that John Money hopes will bring home 2 points tonight. Full-back, Great Britain's Steve Hampson. On the wing, David Myers. He's the country's leading scorer. In the centre, Dean Bell, the captain. And alongside him is Joe Lydon. Lydon, the first £100,000 player in rugby league. His kicking game could be important tonight. On the wing, Sam Panapa. He's played in the centres, at standoff, and now on the wing in the 5 jersey. Sean Edwards takes his customary position at standoff, and alongside him, Andy Gregory plays on despite a fractured wrist. The prop, Kelvin Skerrett, he's in the Great Britain party to face Papua here next week, as is this fellow, Martin Dermott, the Wigan hooker. In fact, the entire Wigan front row is in that Great Britain squad. Andy Platt completes the front row, he's the prop forward. In the second row, arguably one of the best in the world, Dennis Betts. Alongside him, Billy McGinty, a £60,000 buy from Warrington. And the number 13 jersey worn for so long by Hanley goes to Philip Clark. And the coach is the Australian John Money. Now, Wigan have had real injury problems this season, yet they've managed to stay in touch with the leaders. And John Money thinks that their form has suffered, but they are now unbeaten in their last 3 matches.
Well, I think the biggest improvement we had in the last 2 weeks has been our defence has got better, and once we know that we can score plenty of points at Wigan, and if we got our defence in order, well, we'll be hard to beat.
Once he was the hero of Central Park, tonight he's the enemy. Ellery Hanley leading the Leeds players into the ground for tonight's match. This is the side that Leeds hope will do the trick. Full-back is the Kiwi international, Morvin Edwards. Phil Ford ran in a hat-trick against the tourists at Swansea last week. In the centre, David Creaser is partnered by Simon Irving, who'll kick the goals. On the wing, John Bentley. Standoff is Gary Schofield, the captain. A big night for this fellow. Bobby Goulding, former Wigan man, moved over the Pennines in the summer, and Goulding, the man who did so much to torment Leeds at the end of last season, will try and torment Wigan here tonight. Big problems in the pack. It's been completely rejigged. Steve Malloy is at prop. Richard Gunn gets another chance at hooker. And Mike O'Neill wears 10. In the second row, Roy Powell wears 11. Matt Shaw, on loan from Rydale York, gets a chance because of all the injuries. He's in 12. And the lock forward is Gary Devorty. And the coach is Doug Lawton. Of course, a man who ended the Wigan monopoly on the title when he was with Widnes, desperately hoping to do the same again this season for Leeds. But he's got big injury problems, particularly in the pack, and we shall discuss those injury problems in a few moments' time with Mike Stevenson. Now, though, let's take a check on the other results from the First Division today. And 3 of the top 4 have lost. Bradford 12, Castleford 18, Featherstone 22, Salford 27, Salford on a bit of a roll, Halifax 28, Widnes 14. One of the shocks. Here's another of the shock. Swinton, the bottom club, 10, Warrington 8, and Wakefield 20, St Helens 12. So 3 of the top 4 have lost. St Helens, Widnes and Warrington, a golden opportunity for Wigan to make ground and for Leeds to do the same from 7th spot. So big match in prospect here. The weather, I must say, is not of the best. It's been raining, it's been hailing. We even had a bit of snow in there as well. Been pretty grim. But Mike Stevenson and I bone dry up here on the gantry. And Mike, what a match this is now. A great game in prospect with those results from today.
Yeah, it's a big chance for Wigan to really get up there in the top 3. Bit unfortunate that Leeds, they've got 7 of their regulars out. They'll miss Hanley. There's no two ways about that. But I think that the clash between the 2 halfbacks, I mean, Gregory and Goulding, I've been waiting a long time to see this, and I think we might see a bit of fireworks as well.
Yeah, I think we might well see some fireworks. Gregory and Goulding, one of the big clashes that we're all looking forward to here tonight. So there we are. It doesn't come much better than this. It's Wigan and Leeds. Who will win? The Pennines are at war next.
Something like 10 million people in Britain now own shares. But buying and selling them can still be a real hassle, which is where this share screen comes in. It makes the whole process so much easier. It's really straightforward. You don't need an appointment. You just tap in your details, and if you like the price on the screen, you take it. There and then. Oh, it appeals to all kinds of people. Sir? Well, it's not surprising. It's as easy as... Exactly.
Colin Matupi's only dream is to become a doctor. His friends call him Kitabo, the book. You can see why. But Colin lives in a village too remote to be connected to the electricity grid. Which means that when the sun goes down, he relies on solar-powered lighting developed by BP.
Well, what did you expect? This is the 1990s, you know.
Supplying solar power to remote parts of the world is one of the things BP is doing today for all our tomorrows.
Everyone is collecting Shooting Stars, the exciting new football cards which are setting fresh standards in quality and design. Shooting Stars are the only football cards available in mega packs of 15. Collect your cards in these wallets and build up your Shooting Stars collection in these attractive binders. Shooting Stars, the official card of England's top football clubs, are available at your local newsagent. Shooting Stars, the only football card collection to include personally autographed cards.
The heat of the action.
Well, welcome back to Wigan Central Park. The game tonight, Wigan against Leeds, one of the biggest games of the season, and as you'd expect, Central Park is packed despite the awful weather conditions we've been having around here today. There's been hail, there's been snow, it's been dreadful. Let's look ahead at the detailed forecast of what we're going to face during the game. Well, that's the optimistic forecast. Very cold, heavy rain and very strong winds. Couldn't be better, could it? Let's look at the subs they've got tonight. For Wigan, 2 young forwards, Ian Gildart and Mike Forshaw. For Leeds, 2 young backs, Gareth Stevens and Vince Fawcett, though Fawcett can also play in the forwards.
Big crowd then inside Central Park tonight. They have had to come here in their Wellington boots and in their sou'westers. It has been a dreadful day in this part of Lancashire. And here come Leeds, led by Gary Schofield. A little wink for the match referee Colin Morris. Behind him, Morvin Edwards. Phil Ford going through your picture. 3 tries against the Papua New Guineans in the International for Wales last week here on Sky. And little Bobby Goulding, what a night for him as he comes back to Central Park. Schofield leads them out, and let's listen to the welcome for the men from Yorkshire. Well, they crept out onto the field. I think you'll know when Wigan make their appearance in that tunnel, because Central Park will erupt. And Dean Bell leading his men out for what traditionally is one of the big fixtures of the season here at Central Park. 6 of the Wigan players named in the Great Britain party to face Papua, and a big night for Gary Devorty. He is wearing the jersey that would normally be occupied by Ellery Hanley, and here come Wigan. Wigan's team tonight: Hampson, Myers, Bell, Lydon, Panapa, Edwards and Gregory, Skerritt, Dermott, Platt, Betts, McGinty and Clark. And that is the number 13 jersey that Hanley used to fill here. Phil Clark, he's been problemed by injury. He's son of a former Wigan coach and hooker, Colin Clark. And a big night for him. But Mike Stevenson, a really big night for all these players as we take another check on the Leeds team.
Wonderful. There you see the Leeds side. As I mentioned before the kick-off, 7 of their regular first-teamers not in attendance tonight. That doesn't mean to say that the Leeds Liners won't be giving it their best.
You'll notice from our team lineup that Bell and Lydon have switched jerseys, but that's the referee, Colin Morris. He comes from Huddersfield, 33-year-old. It's his 3rd season on the first grade list. And Dean Bell, the captain, wearing 4, as you'll see. So Joe Lydon will wear 3. They've obviously changed in the dressing rooms, as they do so often in this game. They try and fool us, Mike.
Well, they try.
They're switching ends. Wigan will defend the Kop end. They'll be attacking the new £2 million grandstand that has been built here. And Sean Edwards, the standoff half. It'll be a real battle between him and Gary Schofield and between Gregory and Bobby Goulding. That, I think, Mike, is where this match will be won and lost, at half-back.
Well, it's certainly a key area for any team, but that man there in the picture, he'll also have plenty to do with the Leeds' success. Wet conditions, kicking game will be very important tonight.
Live and exclusive, one of the big occasions of the Rugby League calendar in the Stones Bit of Championship is underway. Phil Ford immediately feels the weight of Clark and Skerritt. Roy Powell. The forwards could be important tonight. Leeds have had to completely rejig their pack because of injury, but Wigan, well, they've got virtually their first choice pack on the field. Mike O'Neill is there wearing the scrum cap. It's the last tackle. Leeds still inside their own quarter. It's a good kick ahead, but Hampson is underneath it, watches it and collects.
Wonderful take there by the Great Britain fullback. Wonderful positioning.
Dermott, the dummy half. Good take by Andy Platt, one-handed. Billy McGinty. Now Gregory, playing on despite that fracture on his wrist. Skerritt, look at the weight and strength of Skerritt. Really taking it to Leeds early on. Stopped in the end by Malloy. Last tackle. Gregory, high kick. One to test Morgan Edwards, the fullback. And the Kiwi takes it well, but look at the attention he's receiving from Lydon and from Philip Clark.
He took this exceptionally well, kept his eye on the ball at all times. I spoke to John Money before the game, and he was quite adamant that Morgan Edwards would get plenty of work tonight. The kicking game, high bombs will be raining down on him.
Leeds struggling to get out of their own quarter line. Schofield with the kick ahead to relieve some of the pressure. Doesn't reach halfway, and Steve Hampson has it. And Simon Irving hauls him in. Myers now. 14 tries for David Myers, 10 of them for Wigan, 4 in representative football. Ran in a hat-trick against the Papua New Guineans for the under-21s in midweek. Doing the tackling on Kelvin Skerritt. Edwards, that's a good ball to Hampson, spreading the play out wide, then infield to Lydon. Lydon tackled by Goulding. Here comes McGinty. Good driving run, last tackle, and Wigan are 10 metres short. Edwards. Clark arriving at full pace, tried to force the pressure on the last tackle.
Bad mistake by Wigan there, but they called for a move, and the last runner just didn't turn up. The switch was on, it was called, but I'm afraid Wigan got confused there.
Wigan, the champions for the past 2 years, aiming for a hat-trick under John Money. Gary Devorty clinging on for Leeds, who have not won in the First Division here in 11 years. History against them, but Bentley on the ball, the sort of man who can turn a match, but he lost it then in a crunching tackle. Knock on, says the referee.
Well, that really was a crunch tackle, as you saw on the replay there. But good work by the wingman. Showed exceptional speed off the mark.
Remarkable, too, that the man who hit him so hard, Andy Gregory, came into the ground here tonight. Look at him, the number 7, with his wrist in plaster. An old fracture. He had it x-rayed. The club doctor this week said when it went into plaster that it was an old injury, so Gregory said, well, I may as well play on.
Well, it's not a game for little girls. This is a tough, real man's sport.
Edwards for Wigan. Gives it to his captain, Dean Bell. Edwards again. Gregory. to Skerrett, trying to get rid of Bentley's attention. Kelvin Skerrett. Bentley was helped out by Schofield. Myers and Gregory working a move. Leeds alert to it. Good charging run from Dennis Betts. 5 minutes on the watch. 0-0. Edwards again. And Hampson chiming in. That's a good ball. And the ball was touched by Phil Ford, who hacks the ball out of play before it reached Panapa.
Good work here by Ford, getting in amongst the players very quickly indeed. There you see Hampson stepping in. He lets the ball go away, and Ford gets in between Panapa. Good play there.
Phil Ford, former Wigan player, of course. 16 tries in 15 appearances for the Cherry and Whites in 1985, the Leeds winger. Full-back for Wales last week. Penalty at the scrum. Gregory shaking his head. He doesn't believe that decision.
Well, I'm afraid he has to, because the Wigan front row definitely went to the ground.
Steve Malloy. Gunn from dummy half. Goulding. Oh, that's a risky pass. My word, Schofield had to be brave then. I think he took a bang as well for his pains. Just looks ruefully at little Bobby Goulding then.
It was a bad pass, but excellent work by Sean Edwards. He really did get off the mark, and that's a high tackle.
The referee spotted it. I think Andy Platt, the man pulled out by Colin Morris.
Here you see on the replay, there's no doubt about it. An attack to the player's head, not allowed in the rule book. That's what keeps the dentist happy.
Leeds then on the attack in the Wigan quarter for the first time tonight. Gunn, Schofield and Goulding. Goulding darting through. That's a good run from the little man. Only his 4th full game of the season this tonight. Irving now. Holes appearing. Schofield keeping that ball alive. Goulding drops on it. Schofield again. Leeds look in the mood. Bounces off the chest of Matt Shaw. And we're going to have it back with Myers. He has the entire length of the field ahead of him. Cutting infield round Bentley. O'Neill's there to bring him to ground. Great play from these two sides.
Wonderful football from both sides then. Leeds a little bit unlucky there, and I thought one of the Wigan players earlier had dropped with his knees. They could have got a penalty in my book.
Betts carrying this attack on. Good burrowing run from Martin Dermott. Betts the dummy half. Edwards taking over. Long pass to no one. He was looking for David Myers.
A little bit over-ambitious here by Edwards. It's a long ball, but far too long. Myers nowhere near that.
Sean Edwards, probably Great Britain's scrum half against Papua here at Central Park next Saturday. And also, I venture to suggest, on the summer tour down under. Nil-nil then, here at Central Park. A real collision, though, between the two millionaires of the game. And that's a good kick over the top. Schofield again, dictating the play with the kicking game.
Wonderful position here. You see the lead skipper has all the time in the world. He moved back to allow himself enough room. The pressure from Wigan wasn't there.
Regained the captaincy tonight because Hanley is out and injured. Shoulder injury likely to cost him the British captaincy too. Here's Dean Bell. Now Clark. Gregory. Good little run from Gregory. Oh, great play. Skerritt clinging onto it. Gregory opened the Leeds defence up there. Here he is again. Long pass to Leiden. 10 minutes of this match gone. Still we await the first points. Dermot. It's the last tackle. Wigan again in the Leeds quarter. Leiden. High kick. Another tester for the Leeds defence, and well taken by Schofield. He had McGinty all over him.
Excellent play. There you saw Schofield, timing correct. Got a little bit of a knock for his troubles.
Powell. Collision. Schofield is all right. Here he is. But Leeds are having trouble, Mike, getting away from the danger zone.
It really is difficult for them because Wigan, they're using the dish-like defence. Out wide, they're coming in very, very quickly indeed. And I just hope that the referee, Colin Morris, keeps an eye out for that.
Ford. Jinking infield. He's left 5 for dead there. This is a great run from Ford. And only stopped by Dennis Betts in the end. Last tackle. Goulding's kick ahead. Hampson collects. It's warming up. Whoa, that was a big hit by Goulding on Hampson. Teammates last year. No love lost there.
Look at this. Washka. Oh, dearie me. And that's a little halfback that's doing that.
Penalty against Leeds.
Well, this is the reason why the referee gave the penalty, not moving away to let the player play the ball. And that really was a wasted chance there. The first time that Leeds had to put pressure on the Wigan.
The rain stopped, but that pitch very greasy. But the handling skills of these two sides so far belying the conditions here. Everything seems to be sticking. McGinty. Always a busy player, the Wigan second rower. Gregory and Edwards. Lovely combination between the two. Great tackle coming in from Matt Shaw, the young man on loan from Rydale York of the second division. Getting his chance in the big league tonight. Betts. Powell's all over him. 2 others as well. Bring him down. Last tackle. Gregory. Little kick ahead. Doing the sweeping is Schofield.
There we saw the experience of Schofield in that sweeping role, coming across, anticipating the kick.
But Leeds having real difficulty in getting out of their quarter line. As Mike said, the Wigan defence moving up at every opportunity. Cutting the options down and forcing the errors, but a penalty for a high tackle again. Skerritt, the man picked out.
Well, there's little doubt about that. The replay showed it all. The referee was even closer. No good shaking your head. That's the target that he was using, ahead.
Here's the penalty count. Leeds ahead there. But it's 0-0 on the scoreboard that counts. Leeds, I think, Mike, will be pleased they've weathered this storm because Wigan have hit them with everything early on.
Well, yeah, that really is the point, isn't it? I was just about to say that I think that Mr. Morris could have a little word to some of these Wigan players. They have been going very high indeed.
Is Richard Gunn on his own from the dummy half position. Schofield. High kick ahead. Referee shouts that a couple of the Leeds players on this near side are offside, so they take no further part in that move. Now they will. Sampanapa in off the wing. starved of possession, wants to be involved. McGinty brought down. Now Skerritt. Quarter of an hour of this match gone. No score. Skerritt hits the ground. Referee pins them for the penalty.
Well, Skerritt is pushing here, and all the wingman Bentley does is push him back. That's a John Wayne effort, that one. And Skerritt gets the penalty. Rather fortunate, I think.
Bentley, the man doing the pushing. Skerritt, the man falling like a pack of cards.
Pretty large pack, Eddie.
Seen plenty of the ball, the big Wigan number 8. So is Edwards and Clark. Betts has made the diagonal run. Dermot to Edwards again. And Leeds doing well in defence. That's the last tackle. Gregory chips the ball ahead, but straight into the arms of Bentley, the winger. Can't get away from Platt and Edwards.
Well, we're going to try all the switches and all the moves, but I'm afraid this Leeds defence has shown up very strong indeed.
Yeah, big defensive effort from the men from Yorkshire. They've been really under the collar for the first quarter of an hour here, and so far they've stood up to the test well. Schofield. That was Steve Malloy. This now is Richard Gunn. Last tackle again, and Leeds still 10 metres inside their own half. Golding relieves the pressure with a kick into no man's land that Myers will collect.
That was a good kick by Golding there. It wasn't wasted and down the throat like his last two kicks down Hampson. He really did pick his mark there, and for once they've got Wigan back on their own quarter.
Clark. Stopped by Malloy and Powell. Dermot. Betts. Dennis Betts. One-handed and setting off on a charging run. Ball's come out. Referee says it was a knock-on. It wasn't stripped in the tackle. David Creaser will agree.
Well, let's see on the replay here. You can see the referee has got a very good side of it. No doubt about it, he just dropped it.
Leeds have the head and feed at the scrum. Goulding feeds the second row. Now Schofield kicks over the top, looking for the pace of Ford. Ford's got the pace too. He's leading the race here. He scores! Phil Ford's 9th try in his last 5 matches. Doug Lawton impassive on the bench. Schofield created it with a master kick ahead, and Phil Ford celebrates with a great touchdown.
The Stones Bitter Championship replay. This is wonderful football. It's a move that comes out of the box. Wonderful kick. Ford has the speed. He carries on where he left off last Sunday against Papua New Guinea. Well, did he get it down? Maybe not. Different angle. Now, I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it. Why they keep the fullback up is beyond me, and this is the reason why the try is taken so easily. It did spring out, but the referee had no... Well, I don't know. I think he might have grounded that with his stomach. Either way, read it in the papers tomorrow. It's 4 points.
Leeds have the advantage with that touchdown from Phil Ford. 9 tries now in his last 5 matches and 20 minutes or so of this one. Phil Ford in rich scoring vein, and Simon Eving with this attempt to add the extras and kicking surely. Referee wants him, I think, to take it again. I'm not sure. The referee's whistle has sounded. And And he's sending the touch judges back to go behind the post once again.
Well, the only thing I can think of is that the Wigan side moved whilst he was attempting the kick, or moved into the playing area.
Let's see if we can perhaps unravel the mystery. Well, it looked to me, Mike, as though the ball was in the air before the Wigan players moved.
Well, it's confusing, as you can see by the expressions on Wigan's faces.
It's even more confusing for Simon Irving. He's kicked it perfectly once. He's now got to do it all again.
Does this mean
he's not happy about something?
Does this mean he gets 4 points?
Well, he's all right. He's managed it twice in succession. And I think Peter Hutton's been earwigging on the benches downstairs and can tell us about that decision, Peter.
Well, what we think's been going on was that the referee had stopped the clock. The kick was taken before the clock was restarted, so that's why he disallowed the kick and waited for play to restart in proper time.
So now you know. Anyway, Leeds will breathe a sigh of relief that the second kick went over. It's 6-0. Exactly halfway through this first half, and after all that Wigan pressure, Leeds have back, Mike, and they have the advantage.
And full credit to them. That really was the experience of two great players. Schofield realising that no one was home. Beautiful kick there. Ford knew what was going to happen, and he was away. Poor old Sam Panapa was caught Panaparin.
That's a new word in rugby league jargon. But Schofield, a master tactician with those kicks ahead. No wonder he's the man of steel, the player of the year in rugby league. Last tackle, again Leeds struggling to get out of their own quarter line. Ball's back with Goulding. Myers underneath that kick ahead.
I get the impression that Wigan have been trying to be a little bit too fancy. I think they want to start rolling their sleeves up, and the forwards doing some hard work and get them into a better position.
Gregory, and now Phil Clark. Some real collisions going on out there. Edwards, Bell, and Panapa, not Panaparing now. Round 4 at the first attempt, but couldn't get round him twice. Edwards loops the pass to Gregory. Gregory takes it back. Trying to dart through a little opening. Last tackle. Gregory trying to milk the penalty. Referee has none of it. Edwards has spilled the possession to Irving. Wigan running out of ideas.
Well, there we saw once again Sean Edwards. He's looking for the man to come, and I'm afraid the Wigan support play is not there tonight.
So Leeds back in possession, but once again they're in their own quarter. I think they've only been in the Wigan half of the field perhaps 3 times, and yet they've scored the first try. They've released possession there though.
This is a replay. He definitely lost it. It wasn't reefed out. And now there's a penalty going to Wigan.
Richard Gunn being taken away by Bobby Goulding.
Well, this is silly play. He throws a little bit of a punch here. I know it's not much, but he's losing his cool there as a hooker. He also said a few words, I think, to the referee. And Wigan gain an extra 10. And there you see Bobby Goulding. Little tap on the head, calm things down.
Fiery character, Bobby Goulding, but taking the role of peacemaker there. But it's a penalty to Wigan, their 4th of the night. Leeds have had 3. Joe Lydon with the kicking responsibilities because Frano Botica is still out injured. Made much of the pack problems for Leeds. Botica's out, so too is Gene Miles of Australia for Wigan. Lydon with the kick, he misses. Could be costly at the end of the night, that. So it's a dropout now from their own 22 for Leeds. It stays at 6-0. Betts collects it. Minutes on the watch. Leeds with the priceless advantage, 6 points to 0. How they would love to pick up a victory here. That ball bounces off the chest of Phil Clark.
Loss of concentration here. Clark obviously taking his eye off the ball.
I said earlier that the way that the players on both sides were handling is belying the conditions. Since I've said that, they've dropped everything. Schofield, again the kick ahead. Hampson's back this time. Leeds chasers have arrived, led by Schofield and also David Creaser. Panapa. Away from Schofield, not away from those two though. Malloy and Devorty. Platt. Gregory and Skerritt. Good tackling. Goulding leading the way. Irving finishing him off. Edwards hit by Goulding after that ball had gone. It's the last tackle. Lydon again. Midfield bomb. That was a bit of a slice. The rain coming down here at Central Park. Lydon gets it back. Hampson hacks ahead. And will continue to do so. That bounced off a Leeds jersey. Hampson has it back, gives it infield to McGinty. McGinty's got support there from Edwards. It was on the last tackle. He had to keep the play going if he could, and Malloy swept the danger up for Leeds.
A little bit scrappy there, but Edwards had no option really to try to keep that ball alive, kicking it through.
The rain falling again here at Wigan. Leeds ahead 6-0. In possession with O'Neill. Deep in their own half of the field though, as they have been for much of tonight. The kick ahead from Schofield on the last tackle.
It's been very sensible play here by Leeds. They're not pushing things, they're not rushing, they're keeping their calm. They're very cool about it.
Myers, now he has space ahead of him. He's cut inside Bentley. This fellow really can motor. That's good support play from McGinty, and Dennis Betts will carry it on. Wigan striking from deep at the heart of this Leeds defence. Penalty again. Morgan Edwards not letting the man regain his feet.
Pushing him to the ground, in fact. It was only a small one, but right in front of the referee. That is a silly penalty to give away. But at least it will give Leeds time to reform. That's twice that Wigan have counter-attacked from deep within their own territory, and that's an atrocious kick.
Well, Wigan are playing into the teeth of a very stiff breeze. That's, I think, is why Lydon didn't go for goal. He was right in front of the sticks, but just inside the Leeds half, and he didn't even find touch either. So he's missed with one penalty, and he's now missed touch as well. Powell. Matt Shaw. How are you liking this English weather, Mike?
Loving it.
Golding. It's the last tackle. Whoa, he's missed it, Devorty. Gregory's hacked ahead. Is it going to wait for the little man? No. The little legs on Andy Gregory were pumping away then.
Look at him in the background there. Tantalisingly just rolling and rolling away. And he's obviously disappointed by the way that he was moving his lips that he couldn't make it.
Matt Shaw again for Leeds.
I think Wigan could do to take a leaf out of the Leeds forward play. They really have been very strong. They've just kept it tight. It's very, very bad conditions, and Wigan are trying to play far too fancy, I fear.
Hampson, his hands there, Shaw, and he almost stepped out of the challenge from Creaser, but not quite. Panapa taking over. Powell has him. Finished off by Richard Gunn. Dean Bell, now Phil Clark again. Gregory. Oh, they've taken the dummy there. It's a lovely run from Gregory. He's got Panapa in support. Jinking, weaving, supports there from Bell. But good tackling again in defence from Leeds. Phil Ford's all over Panapa. It must be a penalty. Referee lets it go. Gives Wigan the chance perhaps to get 6 rather than just a 2. They must score here. Oh, McGinty's dropped it. Oh, Billy McGinty is pounding the turf in disgust. They were in here for the try.
What a mistake. That says it all, doesn't it? The long ball was well thought out. They had a 4-man overlap. And I'm sure that the 3/4 in the Wigan side will be telling the forward to get out of the way next time.
Good refereeing by Colin Morris, though, that. He allowed Wigan to get on with the play and gave them the opportunity to score the try rather than penalising Leeds for holding down in the tackle. Good stuff from the ref. Schofield, little short pass again, but Wigan, they know all about Devorty, and Powell has dropped it. Wigan have it back. It's concerted pressure, this from Wigan. Remarkable they've not scored yet.
Just some injury news from down here on the bench. Leeds number 3, David Creaser, looks to have a problem. He's limping quite badly, and you really saw in that last Wigan attack that he was a bit of a weak link there. I think Leeds may well be bringing on a substitute any moment. Vince Fawcett warming up.
Penalty, meanwhile, as Fawcett strips to come on into the action. Creaser, the man who he will replace. Oh, but again, Lydon almost didn't find touch, and fortunately for Lydon and Wigan, Ford did for him.
Well, he had a chance to take this Ford. It went straight through him. Wigan lucky there. They'll get the feed and the...
And they are about 10 metres short of the Leeds try line. So, big defending coming up for Leeds. Edwards, Leeds hold them out. With handling and with very just passing on Edwards.
Well, it really is forcing the pass in conditions that are not suited to that type of football. I'm Coach Moore, plenty to say to them.
And a Leeds player down injured. Referee Morris immediately holds the clock. They go on to treat him. It's Morven Edwards, the fullback.
And of course, Eddie Money had plenty to say at half-time when Wigan played Dewsbury at Gallant. This is the replay of it. They're just trying to force the pass. Look, that's the thing you do in dry weather, not in these conditions. Just saying, a great effort by my old club on Tuesday, but they really pushed the Wigan side. It wasn't until late in the game that they took control. And Money then asked the Wigan players to put in more effort and more work.
Vince Fawcett coming on for David Creaser. Creaser off, limping as Peter Hunt moments ago. So Doug Lawton's made the change. Fawcett is normally a winger. And Vince Fawcett has taken his place on the wing, and they've pushed John Bentley into the centre. Leeds ahead 6-0 then. They've been underneath their own post for much of this match, but they've scored the vital through Phil Ford, converted twice over by Simon Irving. Schofield arrowing the ball downfield.
Good chasing there by Leeds. You saw that at least 5 players were on hand to bring the fullback down. This has been a good defensive effort by Leeds.
Ball again has been dropped, but the referee says it went backwards, so allows Wigan to carry on. 5 minutes of this first half. 6-0 to Leeds. Wigan have enjoyed a power of territory, but they haven't got over the line yet. And Leeds will be well pleased. They've played with the wind at their backs. Gregory's kick ahead. Edwards collects Morven Edwards, and he's tackled by his name, Sean. New Zealand against Great Britain there. Schofield, Jindy feet. Well, Leeds really cannot get away from this danger zone, only for the kicking of Schofield and Bobby Goulding. And Schofield has found touch on that far side.
The importance of a man that can keep his calm in such situations. Look at that. No one was at home. He picked his spot perfectly. And that's why he's being classed as one of the all-time greats.
Come on, take Colin. Take him off. They're back.
Wigan's head and feet then at this scrum. Gregory has the possession. Now it's with Edwards. Now Myers. Clark. Always willing, Phil Clark, to take it up. Edwards again. Gregory was calling for it, but Edwards saw that Goulding had moved up to cut the pass out. So Malloy brings him down. Gregory. Hallwell again. A little bit too clever.
Gregory trying to keep the ball alive. There you saw Bell getting in front of it, really. It wasn't meant for him. But Gregory was looking for the support from the forwards, and quite it's not there tonight. The Wigan forwards aren't doing their work. And that was definitely a forward.
He took the words out of my mouth. Forward passes. Shaw came up to collect it. Well, only a yard.
OK in gridiron, but not here in England, rugby league style.
Julie!
That scrum was an absolute shambles, but the referee lets it go. Edwards. Now Panapa.
Well, they only lean together for a quick chat these days, Eddie.
I don't think they even leaned there, Mike. They didn't get in. Gregory finds Skerrett. Skerrett drops it. Ford has it. Oh, well, this is another try out of nothing for Leeds. They won't catch him. Ford's playing with them. It's number 2 for Ford. What scoring form Phil Ford is in. Swooped on the drop ball, had half the length of the field to go, and went right under the sticks. No problem. Leeds ahead, 10 points to 0. 2 more to come.
The Stone Bitter Championship replay will see once again Wigan making a fatal mistake. And look at the speed off the mark. Picked it up and said thank you very much indeed. He's had many a glory at this ground at Central Park, but the wiggles against the Central Park crowd tonight. In he goes. It's all about taking your chances. Once again, Wigan trying to be too smart. Dummying through. Look at him go. Is he on his way to another hat-trick? Look at the man's power there. That's why wingmen just love to do this. As I mentioned, take your chances and make the points count.
Phil Ford's 10th of the season. Irving with this conversion attempt. It's 12-0. And Leeds, I wouldn't think if they looked at the statistics of this match could believe it, but they are 12-0 ahead, having weathered all the pressure from Wigan Wigan have thrown everything at them, bar the kitchen sink, and Ford has popped up with 2 tries out of nothing. The former Wigan player will be enjoying every minute of this. He's in a rich vein of form, Mike.
Certainly is. As I said, he's carrying on from last Sunday. He showed some scintillating speed there. Many thought that he was past his best. Maybe he's getting his second win.
Talking to him this week, he'd like nothing better than a place on the tour to Australia at the end of this season. If he carries on scoring like this, they won't be able to keep him off the jumbo. Well, I would think the stats of this match from a Leeds point of view would be horrific. The number of times they've been in possession in their own half. But when they look at the bottom line, it will say 12-0 and perhaps more, because that's great following up by Fawcett. And they're back to 6 more. Ball spilled out wide. Again, they had men queuing up.
Good refereeing once again. He let the players know that went on. It's ball had been a Wigan player in and that's green.
Here's Schofield. Now Powell. Ducks under the arm from Garrett. Schofield, what a great effort defensively from Leeds in that first half as the siren sounds. Stuff from Leeds. They are ahead by 12 points to 0. Phil Ford, man of the match last week in Swansea. Is he man of the match here tonight? 12-0 Leeds ahead.
All eyes will be on Jonathan Davis as he stars in the witness lineup in the big league. Hot from his Welsh record-breaking Papua New Guinea. In association with Bitter, witness against Wakefield next Sunday at 6, live and exclusive on Sky Sports.
So much for good old hospitality. Could do with a pint. As dry as a bone.
I think we've made a grave mistake.
Stones!
Now that's what I call...
This lot's up from then. You should see a doctor. Which doctor?
Wherever you may wander, there's no taste like stones.
Something like 10 million people in Britain now own shares. But buying and selling them can still be a real hassle, which is where this share screen comes in. It makes the whole process so much easier. It's really straightforward. You don't need an appointment. You just tap in your details, and if you like the price on the screen, you take it. There and then. Appeals to all kinds of people. Well, it's not surprising. It's as easy as... Exactly.
Shooting Stars, the only football card collection to include personally autographed cards.
For me, the perfect moment is on Sunday morning. I treat myself to my mum's marmalade and a cup of rich Maxwell House. I love opening a new jar and making it in my special mug.
Maxwell House is slow roasted for greater richness, no matter when or where you enjoy it.
It's the same rich Maxwell House, but it's best on Sundays.
Maximize the richness. Maxwell House the coffee.
You move me, Sam.
Wild at Heart, just one of at least 60 brand new films on Sky Movies Plus and the Movie Channel in November. To subscribe now, call this number 0506 460 460.
You tell me your Sky Sports.
Well, welcome back to Central Park. The conditions may be very cold. It's a miserable night here, but not if you're a Leeds fan. Leeds leading Wigan by 12 points to 0 so far after a tremendous first half of defensive play by Leeds. And also that fits in with the theme of the day as far as the results are concerned. This has been a day for the shocks, as the First Division scores really point out. Running through them, Bradford 12, Castleford 28, Featherstone 22, Salford 27. Halifax beat Widnes. The Halifax roller coaster hit another high, 28-14, with Jonathan Davis and Martin Afire both out of the Widnes team. Swinton, the bottom club, beat Warrington by 10 points to 8 despite a late Kevin Ellis try. And Michael Jackson scores another cracker for Wakefield Trinity. Great Britain's new second-row forward, scoring a tremendous try in the 2012 win over leaders St Helens. So what's that mean for the top of the table? Well, not a lot, because most of them lost. St Helens, Widnes and Warrington all losing, but Castleford edge up. They're now in 5th spot along with Wakefield. On to Division 2 and bottom of Division 1 first. At the bottom, Swinton, of course, have won today. That takes them above Bradford, who lost against Castleford. We will have Division 2 now. Just one score from it. An incredible game, this one as well. London Crusaders 14-0 up at half-time. But in the end, they go down 22-14 at Crystal Palace. What's it mean for Division 2 table? Well, London Crusaders now 6th, but Rochdale moving up to 4th. Division 3 games, the big game of the day, Bramley against Dewsbury, another shock. Bramley beat the leaders 20 points to 10. Other wins for Inform Huddersfield, for Highfield, for Hunslet and for Barrow. So at the top of Division 3, the first year of Division 3, Hunslet are now top, overtaking Dewsbury, with Huddersfield moving up into 4th and Bramley moving up into 3rd.
Thanks very much, Peter. Peter Hutton there with all the day's results. And now to Throwing Stones, the part of our big league programme on a Sunday in which you have your say. And, you know, it seems that by mentioning Martin Afire 7 days ago, we have caused a stir with some of you. Afire, remember, has 6 years of a 10-year deal with Widnes still to go. He insists he won't play for the club again. And Mr. Ken Pritchard of Stourbridge in the West Midlands is amazed by Ofire's attitude. I just wonder where loyalty has gone, he says. Ofire seems to have been given every chance to improve his earnings with overseas contracts, yet he shows little loyalty to the fans and the game that has made him a household name. Now, for the record, Martin Afire played in the A-team on Friday night for Widnes, but then he said he wasn't fit enough to play in the first-team match today. Mike, Martin Afire and the problems rumble on.
Well, look, no one is bigger than the game, and people have to realise, especially the players, that a contract's not something that you thread some string through. I mean, it has to be adhered to it. It's as simple as that. You can't be bigger than the game. No one is.
Now, Mr. Alan Glover of St Helens says he's long regarded Widnes as the enemy, but he's in full support over Afire. He remembers another winger in the 50s who also ran in great tries and was on a long-term contract. He too signed a 10-year contract, he says, but he was a man who fulfilled it, the great Tom van Vollenhoven. Now, the substitutes rule has raised its head again. Remember, a fortnight ago we called for 4 subs as opposed to the present 2. And a letter from Ron Garrett of Salford believes that the current substitutes law, the way it stands now, is being abused perhaps by some coaches who use the subs not for injuries but for replacing players for tactical reasons. Mr. Garrett, he writes from Salford, how many teams in the league can name international players as subs and introduce them at 20-minute intervals? Something to think about that, Mike. The subs these days are used tactically rather than for injuries generally, aren't they?
Well, people have to realise that in this modern-day game, that as far as I'm concerned, they should have 4 substitutes, and if the coach wants to use them and bring them on as a tactical move, then I think that's great for the game. Because let's look at it this way. The crowd pay good money. They want to see open football, and if someone gets injured and they have to replace them, then why can't they do it and just make it as a tactical move and then maybe play 20 minutes and then run them out, run his best out, and then bring someone on that's fresh.
It's all right for clubs like Wigan and Leeds and Widnes, I suppose, and Saints, but what about the little fellas? They can't put 2 internationals on the bench.
Well, we don't have to look at internationals, do we? We're talking about a standard of play. There's the first division, the second division, third division, and that's why we're doing it, to make it a little bit more even. And I think the reason is they've just got to have that many players. Blood the youngsters. That's what the game's all about.
OK, let me just give you the address once again. It's always great to hear. Keep those letters coming in. Throwing Stones mailbag, Sky Sports, 6 Grants Way, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW7 5QD. Please keep them coming in. Competition, keep listening, keep watching, because we'll have a question for you about this match to win a great prize right at the end. But the second 40 minutes to come. Will it be Leeds? Will it be Wigan? Leeds 12-0. Who's for the... We'll see after the break.
WWF Wrestling Challenge. The UK and can found on Sky Sports. So watch out, Monday night at 7.
BP has developed a new runway de-icer, which is more effective at clearing snow and ice. It's also kinder to the surrounding countryside, which is reassuring. You choose to fly.
Forward at an angle of 45 degrees.
Sky, so anytime you're getting low, instead of
as everyone knows,
just remember that ant. Whoops, there goes another rubber tree plant.
But we must operate today.
Go to Barclays. It's going to cost £1,500, but they want it in dollars. Tell them it's urgent.
Thanks to the Russian floating eye clinic, Sarah's eyesight was fully restored. Thanks to Barclays, a complex currency transfer was one operation her parents didn't have to worry about. Barclays, when it matters most.
Low-fat instant Horlicks, the natural way to relax.
Welcome back to wet Central Park here in Wigan, and that is a surprising half-time scoreline thanks to that man in your picture now. 2 tries from winger Phil Ford. He's in great scoring form. We have the second half of Wigan and Leeds live and exclusive for you here on Sky Sports tonight. What a great match so far. More of the same, please, gentlemen, for the next 40 minutes. And Wigan in possession with Hampson. They've not lost here at Central Park since New Year's Day, when Warrington beat them. That's a run of 10 matches. But Mike, as we come into this second half, they are stirring down the battles of the gun.
Most certainly, and I'm sure that their coach Moni would have had plenty to say to them. They really have got to lift their work rate and play a lot tighter to the ruck.
Gregory, remember, in this second half, Wigan have quite a stiff breeze at their backs. I wonder whether that will make any difference to the way the Cherry and Whites play in this second half.
Well, it's obviously going to be an advantage to them. They'll use the long kick as much as possible.
It's Vince Fawcett. That was Gunn, the dummy half. This now is Steve Malloy. Matt Shaw. Rain thankfully has stopped, but it's bitterly cold and the conditions underfoot heavy, to say the least. Mike O'Neill. Last tackle. Leeds in their own half again. Devorty left-footed. Downfield. Panapa didn't knock on, just had a little look at the referee. And remember, in that you saw Simon Irving having to take 2 conversion attempts because the referee ruled one way. Let's find out the reason why as we watch Andy Platt ball again by checking it out with Peter Hutton. Peter, what was the ref's decision?
Well, the reason was a bit bizarre, but you know, Ed, that there's this rule about watermen that's limited to only one man coming on with water when there's a break in play. There was more than one waterman on. The touch judges had to clear them off, so the referee wasn't happy with the position of the actual touch judges, the linesmen, so he had to wait for them to be in position before the kick could be taken.
I think you
Does that make sense?
Well, I think you said exactly the right word, bizarre. But anyway, Leeds went over the crossbar the second time.
We always bring exclusives to Sky.
Here's Matt. Anyway, he was adhering strictly to the letter of the law, the referee, Colin Morrison. He has had an excellent game in my book so far tonight. Refereed this game intelligently. Good kick ahead again from Goulding. Hampson. Clattered by Fawcett. Myers. Now Wigan need to strike and strike quickly here. They had a ton of territory and possession in the first half. Did nothing with it. Leeds had 2 breaks. Scored 12 points. It's a funny game.
Well, that's the type of running that Wigan will need this second half. Using their forwards tight, they really have got to start injecting themselves.
A good ball from Gregory. That's a good ball. This is Bell. Field. Still going Panapa. Good tackling from Morgan Edwards. Ground him to a halt. Gregory. Wigan needs something from this. Gregory dabbing the ball ahead. Neil knows all about little Andy Gregory. And knows he mark. Again. Ball comes out of McGinty. Edwards, luckily for him, the says the ball went backwards. 5 minutes of this second. 12-0 Leeds.
That's a type of running dummy half. Quick play, the ball Leeds napping.
Wigan have been a bit of pace here. Myers, fly. Oh, he's turned them inside out. Can he get around? No, the conditions beat him.
That fully deserved a try.
It was on the last tackle. Possession turns over.
Look at that wonderful step. Football excellence. He's going round there and slips. You can't believe Witherton's forward, and Leeds breathe again.
Ford, the try scorer, then the try saver, kept Myers out. Had he not been there, been under the sticks. But Wigan have injected just a touch more pace at the start of this second half.
And listen to this crowd, Eddie. They are going wild.
Getting right behind their team. Bell. All the noise came from the travelling contingent from across the Pennines in the first half. But the Wiganers are getting right behind their team now. And Gregory leading by example. Edwards. What a great game this is. Skerritt. Wigan back in the Leeds quarter. Dermott to Gregory. If anyone can unlock them, he can. Ball's dropped again. Leeds, a big, big, big defensive effort.
Edwards trying to force the pass again. But the Leeds defence is putting them under a lot of pressure.
And what about that for a run from Shaw? Forward pass, surely. Referee on. Oh, controversy. Fawcett's there. Edwards is there. Edwards manages to hold on some one knee. And Wigan are streaming back. They're back to 6 more. It looked a forward pass. Referee said play on. Neil, the 10 metres short. Goulding at dummy half. Schofield, still Schofield. Releasing the pass to Goulding. Knock on, was it? Yes. This time, referee agrees with the crowd.
Just a little one here by the former Wigan halfback. He'll be disappointed. But the pressure there. You call it right in my book, Eddie. I thought that was a knock-on. It split the Leeds defence, but good play by Fawcett. You play to the whistle, it never came.
Leeds so close to a third try. Wigan called on to do some big defence. And David Myers is injured, limping away. He's had treatment. And that is Mike Forshaw warming up, ready to come on. Myers limping away. But Myers is staying on. Forshaw and Gildart, the two subs for Wigan tonight, are forwards. Again, Wigan trying to force the pace. Big gasp from this crowd as Bentley drops on it for Leeds. O'Neill. What a great job O'Neill's had tonight. Great game. Malloy.
The two prop forwards have worked very hard for Leeds. They've taken the ball up all night. They've done the hard work.
Goulding. The Skerritt clinging onto his shirt tails. This is Richard Gunn, the hooker. It's the last tackle, and Leeds are right under the Wigan posts. Goulding, going on his own Goulding, the ball's been dropped. It was on the last tackle anyway.
On the replay, he tried to take the option, just didn't get his foot to it correctly. It was the handover eventually.
And now a penalty against Leeds for holding down Richard Gunn, pulled out by the ref.
Bad slip up here by Leeds. There you saw it. He caught one for his job there. Made a big job of it, Hampson. There's definitely an elbow going in there.
Leeds with a dreadful record here at Central Park. We pointed it up right at the top of the show tonight. Of 17 matches played here in the First Division since 1973, Leeds have lost 15. Are they on the verge here of a famous victory tonight that really will push them back into contention for Wigan's title? 10 minutes of this second half gone. 12-0 to Leeds. Wigan searching for the try that will bring them back into this match.
They've got to change their options, Wigan, a little. They really have got to start doing little kicks over. But they may get away with this one.
Myers, stopped by Fawcett. It was almost a kick round to play a soccer style there. Lydon's kick ahead has rolled calmly into the arms of Morgan Edwards. Schofield spreading that play out wide. Malloy, what a great run from Malloy. Bentley started on the wing, has moved in to the centre to make way for Fawcett. Creaser off injured.
That's excellent play by Leeds. Safety first, running from dummy half, doing nothing silly, and finishing off with the kick to put even more pressure on Wigan.
Driving down the middle. Gregory gives it to Edwards. He helps it on to Panapa. Edwards has gone out in support. Good tackling, Schofield again. No, it's Bentley, sorry. And again. That's the 5th tackle. This is Gregory. His kick ahead. Edwards collects it. Edwards still clinging on. And Gary Schofield pushing his players on. Regained the captaincy last week with Hanley's injury. A draw then against St Helens, on the verge of an historic win here at Central Park tonight. Goulding, he's loving every minute of it too. Oh, great stuff from Goulding. Oh, and he was tackled, and then he regained his feet and tried to keep the movement going.
A little bit overexcited here. He'd done some tremendous work, spoilt it. He knows he's done wrong. He's looking at the referee now.
Myers saw a little gap. The gap was closed. Skerritt. Good tackling Leeds. What a defensive effort this has been for the men from Headingley. Andy Platt. Gregory. Betts. Straight down the middle, Dennis Betts. Route 1. Stopped 10 metres short by Edwards. Dermot stopped just a metre short. It's the last tackle. Can Wigan finally unlock this defence? Ball out wide. Bell turns it inside. That's Goulding all over the man in possession. Gregory just hacks it into no man's land. Wigan will come back and try again with Skerritt. Skerritt drops it. A frustrating moment for Wigan.
Well, it was a beautiful pass. Made a real mess, and that's why prop forwards aren't suited to be out in the centres. He knows a bad mistake. I'm afraid it's been a night for mistakes from this Wigan side. But that was better play, especially from Betts.
14 handling errors from Wigan, though. The conditions very much against them, but the Leeds total of 6 proving that it can be done, even in conditions like this. And although that was on the last tackle, referee said it touched a Leeds hand somewhere on the movement, and so that knock-on from Skerritt results in the scrum down. 12-0, Leeds ahead. Interesting that, if Skerritt had held on to it then, Wigan would have had 6 more.
Well, the referee was waving that 6 to all the players, so he could have continued on and put even more pressure. But here you see Leeds, they're not going to do anything stupid. They know that time is now on their side. The minutes are ticking away.
Schofield. What a great player he is. All great players seem to have time, and Schofield seems to have hours of it. Last tackle, Goulding. Bet he's enjoyed his trip back to Wigan too tonight. Myers. There's little Bobby Goulding. Couldn't get a regular place here at Wigan. £90,000 prized him away. The little number 7. Leeds not afraid to spend big money when the need arises. They proved that with the world record deal for Ellery Hanley. That really was the knife in the Wigan heart a week into this new season. And Hanley here tonight, watching his new club dictate this pattern of play. The last tackle this. Betts hacks the ball ahead. Schofield has it. Surrounded by red shirts. And Sean Edwards has come off. Oh, Morgan Edwards has come off. Let's get details from Peter Hutton.
Yeah, Morgan Edwards got a knock in the first half to his right ankle. He looks to have done it again in the second half, and that means number 14, Gareth Stevens, is stood by the dugout at the moment, waiting to come on. Stevens will be on as soon as they get a break in play.
There's Gareth Stevens, only 17. Touch judge pushes him on. It'll mean some more rejigging for Leeds. Their fullback's off.
Looks like they'll force it back into the full-back position, perhaps.
And Stevens' first touch. I'm impressed by him in the defeat that we covered on Sky Sports against Warrington last month.
Well, it just shows you the confidence in the player. He barely just runs on and elects to take the gamble and the kick through. That's a sign of a very confident player indeed, as all the Leeds players have been tonight. They really have shown a lot of courage and effort, especially in defence.
It's Phil Ford who has dropped to the full-back role that he carried out so diligently and professionally last week for Wales. Ford, scorer of 2 tries tonight, is now watching the action all on his own in the Leeds 22 as play continues up the other end on the last tackle. Kick ahead for Stevens to chase. He'll give it to Ford. And Ford has been pinned by Wigan, who've moved up following the kick ahead.
Well, we just saw in that previous passage of play when Wigan had possession.
Here's a great run from Bentley. John Bentley has stepped through the challenges. He's got Irving with him, looking for the support. Oh, he's round the fullback, Hampson. Here's another try for Leeds. Hampson was left for dead. And Bentley has scored the 3rd Leeds try tonight. Another one out of nothing. High stepping run inside his own half. And then he scouts Steve Hampson and touchdown.
Wonderful play here by the winger on the stones. Bit of championship replay. Look at the man dive in, dig his feet into the ground. Look how he keeps. He's looking for support. Now Hampson is coming into the picture. Now Hampson was looking for the support again. He slows down here and then accelerates away. He totally confused the full-back. There you see Betts trying desperately to stop the winger, and that's a fine try indeed. And doesn't he look pleased? Look how he takes this ball. You'll notice that the Wigan defence are hanging away from him. He goes round, the gap appears, he misses him. Look how he digs those feet in. There's the support inside. Irving was there. They hang off for him, and he was looking for it. The little jink inside. Wonderful play by the wingman. Look at that. That's rugby league at its finest, and he'll enjoy that. And Leeds look as though they've got over the bogey.
John Bentley's 4th try this season, scored home and away against Wigan last year. And Irving, with this conversion attempt, he's not missed one yet. The icing is on the cake. The champagne must be on ice for Leeds. They're ahead 18-0.
Well, just before that try, I was about to explain the fact that the Leeds pressure was so intense that we saw a passage of play where the ball was going backwards and Wigan just did not know what to do.
McGinty goes off and Mike Forshaw comes on. Just looking down the records, the last time that Wigan were nilled here at Central Park in the Premiership, season before last, in the semi-final against Bradford Northern 9-0. But they have had to wait a long time, Leeds, for this victory, if victory is what it's going to be. And there's Morgan Edwards, obviously with a crack on the shin. He will take no further part in this match. The rain is teeming down, and Leeds are having a mudlark here. 18-0. New Year's Day, the last time that the Wiganers were beaten here at Central Park. 1980, the last time Leeds won here at Central Park. What a night to be a lawyer now, Mike.
Long time between drink, as you say. The champagne should be popping now. I really cannot see Wigan getting out of this one, especially the way that Leeds have defended. They really have swarmed in and put pressure on that Wigan outfit.
Doug Lawton enjoying his trip across the Pennines with his assistant Gary Stevens on the bench with him. Big smile from Stevens, expressionless from Lawton as per usual. The only man to break the stranglehold of Wigan on the championship when he was with Widnes. I just wonder whether the good days are just round the corner for Leeds. It's a good night for them here.
Well, a simple pass here dropped by the loose forward, Clark. Just took his eye off the ball at the last minute. That's a fatal mistake, especially in these conditions. The tally still goes higher with the mistakes. 16-6. That says it all, doesn't it?
Schofield again. Didn't have the time or the space that time. Edwards got a crack for that there in the tackle. Powell. O'Neill. Good effort this from Leeds. There's the attendance, 15,075. I rather fancy that a few more might have been tempted away from the fireside tonight had Hanley been playing and had this rain not poured out of the skies from the start. It's broken only intermittently.
Well, here the replay, you'll see a Leeds player is caught offside. Garrity Vorty was in front of the kicker.
He was on the last tackle, so possession simply hands over to the other team. Wigan can start again, but from inside their own half. Here come Wigan with Edwards, now with Paniper, inside to Bell. Bell cutting in field, kicks ahead. But who mops up the danger? Gary Schofield. 65 minutes of this match gone. Leeds ahead 18-0. A heavyweight contest between two of the game's brightest names. Interesting, Mike, you know, Doug Lawton always used to say in his Leeds days, lose 5 and you won't win the championship. Had Leeds come here tonight and lost, it would have been their 4th defeat of the season. So he's on course.
He's obviously had those words to his players as well before the game. The game plan has been perfect. They really have kept a tight control of their passing. They have not done anything silly. And it's sometimes quite ironic that a team that plays perhaps not the most adventurous type of football will win. They've had 3 chances and they've taken all of them.
Leeds caught offside. Wigan have another chance here with Forshaw. 8 metres short of the line. Bell finds Gregory. Gregory just jinks away from the challenge from Goulding. Doesn't put a very good pass into Edwards, though. Myers is screaming for it out on the other touchline, and Edwards has dropped the ball in the pressure of that tackle. The Leeds defence has been superb tonight.
Wonderful tackle there by Powell. The impact just dislodged the ball. He's not happy, Edwards. I'll tell you something else. Neither will their coach, John Money.
The sub coming on at the moment, number 15, Gildart, on for number 2, David Myers. Myers had a knee injury early in the first half. He's stuck with it, he's kept working hard at it, but finally they've brought on the sub just to throw a little last gamble into the pack.
Well, Dennis Betts has come out of the pack, and I noticed too that Sean Edwards is playing in the centre. Dean Bell, number 4 in your screen there, has gone to stand-off half. So Wigan not leaving things alone, Mike. They're trying to rejig and reshuffle and trying to sort things out.
Well, it's been a confusing evening for them all the way around. They started out very bright indeed. They produced a lot of moves, a lot of run rounds, and they just didn't work. And I'm quite surprised that they've tried to continue to do that.
Schofield taking his time. Irving. Left-footed. Good kick that was from Devorty in the circumstances. He was under some pressure. This now is Hampson.
That's been a good feature of the Leeds defence. They've been up very, very quickly chasing the kick. Doesn't give the opposition much chance. Not many options to take, but just to go to ground with it.
Really has been a big effort, this, from Leeds. Gregory. Can he find the right combination this time?
Another interesting factor as well is both Edwards and Gregory have been allowed to run across without a Leeds player actually coming across and taking him out.
Betts. But all he does is give the ball to Fawcett. Fawcett has to go around his own player. High tackle from Skerritt. And Skerritt follows it up again with a right hook as Fawcett went down.
And also, I think the knees. That was a high tackle. The referee had seen it, but it was allowing the advantage to go on. And that really should be cut out of our game. That was a late attempt. And quite frankly, I think he's a lucky boy.
Penalty's been given in the Leeds half for the high tackle. Here it is again.
Lucky not to be a little bit more injured on that one. That's also been a problem with some of the Wigan tackling tonight. They have gone very high indeed.
The pitch is holding up remarkably well, despite the fact that it's so wet out there. I can tell you up here on the gantry, you can hear the boots squelching in the mud. It really is heavy, heavy going out there. And Schofield with an attempted drop goal. He's kicked it. Oh, he loved it.
All the time in the world. There you see no Wigan player applying pressure to him. Called it well. Never any doubt. That's class and that's experience.
19-0. Good tactics from Schofield, up there for a long time, Leeds, and he decided he'd have the 1 point. Come back with some reward and get the ball from the kick-off too. Malloy. O'Neill. What a great game this fella's had.
Just simple, basic forward football. Running onto the ball hard.
Here's another one, Devorty. Edwards able to bring him to ground. Schofield. Goulding. Kick ahead from Goulding. Ball spills from Hampson. Lydon tidies up. And Lydon strides through the tacklers. Now Schofield's after him. And Schofield has him.
good defence as well.
Referee penalising Schofield for holding on. Edwards with the kick ahead. Ford is onto it. Ford was alert to that, and look at Edwards' frustration. He must believe everything's going wrong for him. And Ford has taken a bang. The referee tells Gareth Stevens to get on with it.
Excellent play here by Ford. Now, any youngster watching, you'll see that Ford did the right thing. He put his body in front of the man coming onto him and protected the ball. It could not be kicked away. Excellent rugby league.
Well, if Leeds hold on for this victory, Mike, they're very much back in the title hunt, aren't they? They'll move into third place, 2 points adrift of the leaders.
Well, I've been critical of them over the last few weeks because they seem to have faded badly in the last 20 minutes. That doesn't seem to be affecting them tonight. They've certainly moved up a cog into top gear, that's for sure.
Panapa, good tackling, Powell. Dennis Betts at dummy half, Gregory now. Little short pass to Clark, and Gregory taking over again. He's seen the space out on that far side. Edwards hurtling down the middle, has support from Bell. Going on his own for the corner, Edwards. Well, perhaps he should have released it. Ford all over Edwards, not letting him get to his feet. Referee allows him to carry on. Lydon was almost through the gap. Are they in here? No, again the Leeds defence holds firm against the power of Clark. That's how close they are. Referee has given Wigan a penalty, taken quickly. Referee is getting his book out. He's got the yellow card there for someone. He's sin-binning Phil Ford. Phil Ford's in the bin. Going round the back of the posts and off to the sin bin. 2 tries from Phil Ford and in the bin.
Often referred to as a professional foul, holding the man down. But I also suspect he may have said a few words to the referee.
Wigan right in front of the sticks, trying to forge a comeback from somewhere. Edwards drops it, knock on.
Frustration continues. The ball goes away. I think that may have touched the Leeds player, but it didn't make any attempt to go for the ball. It's play on. This error count, what horrific reading it will be for their coach John Money.
Referee's given Leeds the penalty at the scrum for throwing the head in as the 2 front rows pack down. Steve Hampson's been down injured. He's all right now. Got a bang on the head. He'll have to be tough and strong again as Leeds power forward with Malloy. Golding to Schofield. That's a good ball to Irving. My word, that looked high. Well, the referee said that that was on the chest. He's right, but poof.
He was there, and there you see Dean Bell saying, come on, let's get back into it. It was okay, it was a tackle. You saw in the replay, he hit the chest first and then came up onto the face. Unfortunate.
O'Neill. He took the wind out of Irving's sails completely, but fortunately the boy is on his feet and he's chasing this high kick from Schofield. Fawcett has it though. That was a volley forward by Devorty. Hampson has it for Wigan. Dangerous play underneath their own sticks. Clark clung on. Gareth Stevens is after him. 4 minutes of this match to go. I think Leeds will be taking home the winning pay.
No doubt about that. I'm really impressed with their performance tonight. The way that they've just held off, not rushed into the two key players, Edwards and Gregory. They've forced them to run out wide. OK, there has been the occasional break by Wigan, but generally speaking, it's closed them down. It's shut them out completely. A great defensive effort indeed.
Wigan in possession. But the crowd have seen enough, one or two of them. They're making their way home. Making their way to the nearest warm, dry hostelry, perhaps, to begin the inquest. The kick ahead. And the referee has pulled them back for a penalty against Leeds.
Interfering with the man after he kicked the ball. I don't know whether you'll see that. It's just out of your picture.
But it's a penalty the other way. Well, I'm at a loss.
That's confused me completely. Maybe it was a Wigan player that was holding him back.
Doug Lawton, the Leeds coach, savouring the moments of what will be a famous victory for him and his club.
He must be very pleased with the front row. Malloy, Gunn and O'Neill, they've worked very, very hard indeed. As all the Leeds side. But those front rowers certainly have put that effort in.
Leeds will hope that this will be the springboard to great things this season. You don't come to Wigan and win easily. Remember, New Year's Day, the last time they tasted defeat here at Central Park. And Leeds will hope this is the moment that perhaps they've turned the corner. Remember, 7 first-teamers out. One of them Hanley, another Dixon and Gibson. 3 Great Britain internationals out of the side. And what a night this has been for the men from Headingley. Sean Wayne is out as well. He's another former Wiganer. Now playing at Leeds. The ex-Wigan players will be loving this. Gregory's dropped that one. The current Leeds players will be loving every moment of this too, as Bentley sets off on another run.
It's amazing to see a team like Wigan. They've made so many breaks. They've made so much metres, and yet the scoreboard is bare.
And in terms of winning margin, 19 points to 0. This will be Leeds' best win here at Central Park since the war. And on our watch, 15 seconds of ordinary time to go. Leeds just about have it won, but the referee has spotted a little knock-on from Gareth Stevens. We're into stoppage time. Leeds are ahead 19-0. Gregory has been named the sponsors man of the match here tonight, but the man of the match, the real man of the match, must surely be in a blue jersey. Mike, who would get your vote?
I've been very impressed with the prop, Mike O'Neill. He's put a lot of work in, but it really has been more of a team effort from the Leeds side. Wigan may have had the individual stars, and as I mentioned before, they've made so many breaks, but it must be frustrating for them not to finish it off. That's what it's all about. Leeds have taken their chances, and that's why they've won.
Andy Platt. Still going strong, Platt. And Schofield still going strong right up to the final siren. It's the Leeds supporters who are celebrating here tonight. And Doug Lawton, the team manager of Leeds, strolls off the pitch a happy and contented man. Leeds have won it 19 points to 0.
perhaps bowling. 10.
Compared to ordinary diesels, Shell Advanced Diesel gives less smoke. You can tell when it's Shell.
The new Filishave. Improved shaving performance. Lift and cut double action. Continuous minutes left indication. The new Filishave. The pursuit of excellence.
Scottish football comes from the heart, and it's delivered raw and uncensored by Sky Sports. The Scottish Premier League, tonight at 8 on Sky Sports.
Well, welcome back to Central Park. 19-0 Leeds the victors. 2 tries for Phil Ford. A very special night for Leeds tonight.
Yes, very much so. We come here with a weekend's team with all the injuries out, but the boys that played did absolutely tremendous, as you can see today. There's not many teams that's going to ever come to Wigan and nil them. We come to Wigan, we nilled them, we scored 19 points ourselves, and speak volumes to the character in the team.
The defensive work was tremendous, though, wasn't it? Because Wigan really did come at you from the start.
Yes, Ellery and Gary and Dougie stressed defence wins you games, and it proved like last week and this week again. If we can nil a side, then we're bound to score tries because we have the players that can do it.
Personally, obviously in great form. 10 tries now, we make it in 5 games. But those 2 tonight were something special, weren't they?
Yes, very much so. I think they're the first I've scored against Wigan since I left them. But it gave me so much satisfaction. It's unbelievable.
And what about your own personal ambitions now? What are you looking to achieve out of this season?
Hopefully to play against Featherstone next week, but we take each week as they come. They know where I am if they need me, and I'll be only too willing to answer the call, so we just have to see what goes on.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Okay.
Cheers, man.
That's the way it ended up. Phil Ford with those 2 tries, one from John Bentley, the goals from Irving, and the drop goal from Gary Schofield. 15,075 watched it. It was Leeds' first win in the First Division here for 11 years, and Wigan's first defeat here since New Year's Day against Warrington. Better times on the way for Leeds, Mike Stevenson.
After this performance, yes. I thought the team spirit was obviously there. They really worked hard for each other. They knew the conditions were going to be bad. They played wet weather football, a good kicking game with Schofield and Goulding. They certainly enjoyed themselves, and a pack that was willing to work a lot harder than what the Wigan pack was.
Now, we've made quite a bit about the handling errors from Wigan, but the conditions the same for both sides, aren't they? And Leeds didn't make them.
Well, as I said, it surprised me that Wigan made so many breaks, and full credit to the Leeds side. They scrambled back. Now, in the past, I've seen a Leeds side just throw their arms up in the air and let that break eventuate into a try, but they were so eager. They wanted to go back. They worked so hard for each other, and that was the reason why they won. And also the fact that the 3 chances they took them very, very well indeed. The first try was excellent. Good thinking.
Well, they'll obviously look on this as a watershed, I would think, for the rest of the season, because you don't come here and win easily, do you?
No, not really. And let's not forget that they had 7 regulars out. And, of course, a lot of team spirit has to come into a side when you've got so many missing. It showed that Leeds are on their way back with the spirit. And it's been a long time. Sometimes they've had problems with that.
Doug Lawton and Ellery Hanley, who's the player coach, they seem to have gelled the spirit, because you say 7 players out, a virtually second-choice pack with respect to them, and yet they've produced the goods tonight.
They certainly have. As I said, they've worked hard, and in the past 3 or 4 weeks, their biggest problem is that they folded in the last 20 minutes. They were still running strong at the end then. So maybe they've worked their fitness programme out a little bit better.
A great night then for Leeds here at Central Park. Now, competition time on Sky Sports. That is the question for a match jersey from the Leeds player of the winner's choice. Who is the current Man of Steel? That's the Rugby League Player of the Year. Who's the current Man of Steel? If you want a Leeds or a Wigan jumper, ring now 0898 500 186. 0898 500 186. Where are we next week? We're up at the top of the First Division. That's where we are. Widnes against Wakefield Trinity, live and exclusive from Norton Park Widnes next Sunday from 6 o'clock. So I hope that you'll join us for that one then. Tonight, it's been Leeds night here at Wigan. A famous night for them. From both of us, good night. Sky Sports and the Big League, in association with Stones Bitter.
Well, next on Sky Sports, Scottish football with Andy Gray. Highlights of the 2 big derby matches in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Rangers against Celtic, Hibs against Hearts. I'm back at 10 with full coverage of Italy's big match of the day, Milan against Roma. I really can promise you plenty of goals and drama. So join me then for the best of Italian football.
Red hot and raring to go. Ringside, Saturday nights at 9 on Sky Sports.
Colin Matupi's only dream is to become a doctor. His friends call him Kitabo, the book. You can see why. But Colin lives in a village too remote to be connected to the electricity grid. Which means that when the sun goes down, he relies on solar-powered lighting developed by BP.
Well, what did you expect? This is the 1990s, you know.
Supplying solar power to remote parts of the world is one of the things BP is doing today for all our tomorrows.
Tonight on the Movie Channel. At 8:15, Ted Danson and Isabella Rossellini team up for the touching romantic comedy and fatal attraction of Cousins. At 10:15, Liam Neeson plays a bare-knuckle fighter caught up in the Glasgow underworld of a highly acclaimed tale of the big man. And at 12:15, Chuck Connors stars in a fascinating science fiction mystery, High Desert Kill. That's tonight on the Movie Channel.
Can't you see how big this is? The biggest game you ever had the chance to sit in. The chance for big money, honest money.
A feast full of dollars.
More than you could ever make in a lifetime.
$500,000. 8 top players in a tie-break duel. The Milan shootout next Sunday at 10. Sky Sports.
This is Sky Sports, a part of the British Sky Broadcasting Network.
It's the big day in Scotland as Celtic go to Ibrox looking for their first win there in more than 3 years. And it's a capital show in Edinburgh as Skull Cup winners Hibs take on high-flying Hearts. We dip into the First Division with Dundee and Raith Rovers, and it's the long walk for this ex-Manchester United star. Hello and welcome to the Scottish Football Show. 51 goals scored north of the border and lots of excitement, despite the torrential rain. We'll see the clash of the Glasgow Giants a little later, but first we go to Edinburgh, a city just buzzing right now. And you know, the first Edinburgh derby at Easter Road last season heralded the start of a miserable time for Hibs.
Miller getting the touch to it. Robertson's in there. Robertson doing well. And a deflection, it's a goal!